The next symbol we're going to be covering is a major market index, but not representative of the United States, but instead Italy. This is iShares Italy ETF. Again, we did the before and afters in Discord, not to spoil anything. We're going to quickly go through the video. I'll show you the projection from the video, and then we'll show you where it is today, just like we did on the FTX.
So you know this chart was made and had been in use for an extended period of time at this point. Okay, so right here we are looking at EWI. This is the iShares Inc. iShares MSCI Italy ETF. It represents a lot of Italian assets. As you can see, just like everything else in the world, it has its peaks and its valleys, its rises and its falls. Pretty solid price channel here, descending price channel. So not necessarily growing over time. As you can see, the resistance keeps getting lower and lower. Also, the lows are getting lower and lower. Let me mark those. If the current downtrending price channel continues at its current rate, you could expect to see a ticker like this move down as much as 52% over a period of, let's say, 800 days. So give or take. Again, this is some very macro stuff, some very big picture stuff. This is, again, an Italy ETF full of Italian assets. They have some for a bunch of different countries, but this is the one we're looking at today. The reason you don't see the financials on the side is, of course, because it's an ETF. It does have a dividend yield of 1.96%. It's better than zero. It's not necessarily amazing by any means. Again, the U.S. national average being 3 to 4%.
Look at
so 2%.
Again, we talked a lot about this. We talked a lot about this indicator here today and just how bullshit it is. It literally just is an RSI, just portrayed differently. As you can see, the RSI peaking out and it's telling you to buy. And guess what? When it's RSI's at the bottom, it's telling you, like, it's just telling you the exact opposite of what to do. It's insane, actually. But that's why we were explaining it earlier in regards to the cycle of emotions, right? When this indicator over here on the right, same with an RSI, is super peaked out or super strong buy, it can't go from strong buy to stronger buy. It can't do that. You should think of it as a toggle switch. You shouldn't be placing your trades in the direction this thing's pointing. You should think of, oh, it's super buy, so it's already maxed out on its buy, right? The only thing it could then do is flip over to the strong sell side of things, which would then drive those headlines. People who actually follow an indicator such as this would cause them to close their longs and potentially enter shorts, and you ride that momentum. Like, the direction this indicator right here is pointing really means nothing, and instead it's where this indicator could then flip to is what you should be interpreting out of an indicator like this, right? Because, again, it's at the very top. This video was filmed October 18th when the markets were at its peak. What a coincidence. And what were we doing? We were telling you everything's super peaked out. You don't want to be placing your trades now. If anything, you want to be entering shorts. And that's what we did. And that's what we're showcasing here in this video for you. The before and the after, right?
That's not bad. If you were to be in this ETF, you'd want your average to be somewhere along this descending support here. This green line could be looked at as the support for the downtrending price channel. Right now, it actually kind of represents a good opportunity for a short for people who trade like that or move like that. We have the monthly 180 moving average acting as a resistance. We're starting to see a little bit of flagging here. Let's get in there on the weekly and see. See where that's almost perfect flagging, right? Let's look. Flagging can be a sign of indecision. It's pretty symmetrical, but
yep, that's a perfect
obviously
pennant.
Since
Flagging can
it's
be a trend
lining up
resistance.
with the monthly 180 moving average, which has proven to act as resistance numerous times in the past, as represented by the red thumbs. It would make sense for this flag to break out to the bearish side and move down. So it could make a great short. We've been going for 6 hours now. 6 hours. Like markets are closed, markets are closed. We've been going for a while now. Let's see what else I have on my list here, if anything. Mystic, is there any company you'd like to see in particular? Sony?
You guys see me talking to Mystics, one of my
may have
mods at one point.
before, so it might.
Okay, so you guys just watched the video with me. I was explaining to you, Italy overbought just like everything was. At what time was this? October 18th was when we were live. October 23rd is when the VOD went live. Where is it today, you might be asking? Well, as you can see in the Discord here, come up where we were talking about it. I said the video. This was the chart we had in the video, right? This was the chart, the projection to the downside. This happened simultaneously with the US. This happened simultaneously with the VEAs. This happened simultaneously with the VGKs. This happened simultaneously with the AAXJ. Like, this should not surprise you where I'm about to show you, right? It doesn't get more perfect, right? It doesn't get more perfect than that. Like, if you guys would have been placing these shorts, they literally would have been printing for you over the past 6 months, because I can't emphasize the word was enough when we do these past tense before after videos. Was at the resistance, and now it is way down here at a support. Let's go look at it in trading view, right? It's going to look really familiar to you guys. It's going to look really familiar. I need my Discord. Could I have been more? Not only has this chart not been changed at all since we last talked about it, at all, just like FTX, it just filled out perfectly. Look at that. The entry point right there, just right there below this candle right here, all the way down. Look at that. Currently down 35%. 35%, and not just a single company, but an index that represents a variety of assets across an entire country. We don't just move singular companies, we don't just move singular sectors, we move legitimately entire countries out here. And if you're just seeing this video, okay, it might be hard to understand, but we just finished talking about VGK, right, and how it portrayed the same thing. We just finished talking about how all these different U.S. indexes have sold off for the past 6 months, and we were there, guys. We were there at the top telling you this is peak, right? It's not just the S&P that was peaking a year ago, but if you looked at all of these indexes that represent asset classes from all around the world, they were all simultaneously peaking out. And that is what allowed us to recognize that maybe back in October, when this video was made, would not have been a good time to be buying anything, regardless of what country, regardless of what sector. Maybe you shouldn't have been buying anything back then. That's what we were trying to explain, and we were explaining it by showing not just how the RSIs were super overbought on a singular index, but how all of these things happen simultaneously every time. And here we are a year later. All these indexes are now at the supports. All the RSIs are no longer overbought, but instead they are oversold across every single country simultaneously. If we use all of the same indicators and knowledge set that allow us to short the entire world like we did for the past year, those same indicators, those same people are now pointing that it is time to buy. That's what I really want you guys to understand, right? Like, honestly, I don't even need to update this chart anymore, but again, this is the same chart you guys just saw in the video. I want to overlay some of the symbols we looked at today, right? AAJX, or was it XJ? XJ, right? Asian region. Oh, damn. But the same thing, right? At the top, came down. We are now at the support, right? Buy. This stuff happens all the time, right? I wanted to overlay it here. What a coincidence that when Italy, of all places, is selling off, that Asia is selling off. What a coincidence that when Asia, of all places, is bouncing at its support, Asia or Italy starts to run, right? It's almost like these things all happen at the same time, and that you can use information such as indicators, such as RSIs. Look, like I can overlay the Asian region over Italy, and I'm going to have a conversation about RSIs, and it's going to apply to both of them. Watch. Okay, so what is it that's so interesting about an index such as EWI? Why is it somebody might want to invest into the EWI index? Well, let's first start off by talking about their dividend. They have a 5.78% dividend. That is huge. That's actually the highest dividend we've looked at today, regardless of whether it was an index or a company. The U.S. national average for a singular company's dividend is roughly 3%. This is near double that. Okay, what else do we like about this company? Well, let's look at the RSI. Currently, the RSI for EWI is oversold. It is currently at that EWI territory. We've already explained that this indicator is basically the equivalent of an RSI. Look at how look at how funny this is. I've commented on how silly this indicator is here and how you need to be interpreting this indicator as a toggle switch, right? You don't want to be, because right now it's pointing at strong sell, but that doesn't mean you want to be getting out. No, dude, you want to be buying, because the only thing this indicator can't go from strong sell to stronger sell. It's already done the worst it can worst to you. Anyone who would have been shaken by this indicator is already shaken. The only thing it can do is flip back to strong buy, which causes everyone who does care about this indicator to maybe get rid of their shorts and start adding longs, which would then drive that price as it moves over, right? It's basically an RSI. Look, if you would have trusted this indicator, you would have been dumb as hell, because look, this is where it was in October. On October 18th, this thing was telling you to buy. It has since decreased 35% in the major market index. Here we are at the bottom, and it's telling you to sell. That's insanity. You guys need to be able to learn how to interpret these. That's insanity. Can you believe that? That's like, oh my God, that's just so hilarious when you think about it. It's actually hilarious, and it does that every time. Basically, if you're always doing the opposite of what this thing says, you're in a good place, bro. When it was in this pocket, it was probably telling you to sell. When it was in this pocket, it was probably telling you about, you would be on the opposite side of it every time. So anyways, the RSI, super oversold. This is good. You want to be buying when things are low and selling high, right? Riding that momentum as it goes up. To further prove what I'm saying right now, in 2020, when the market sold off, right? The RSI on EWI was super oversold. Bottom end of the RSI towards that 30 mark, right? And what happened after that? It proceeded to run 92% in a major market index representative of Italy. Crazy. Let's further add more supporting details to this RSI. In 2016, the EWI RSI was oversold, touching that 30 mark on the RSI, the low end, right? What happened after that? It proceeded to run 56%, guys. 56%. Let's keep going. To add more supporting details, in March 1st, 2012, the RSI was super oversold towards the bottom end, towards that 30 mark. What happened after that? It proceeded to run 67%. So as you can see, every time this RSI is at the bottom end of the range, that's when you want to be buying. And on the inverse of that, right, not only did everything in 2020, like I just said, Asia also ran. What a coincidence. In 2016, when EWI's RSI was down, Asia also ran. Let's go look at the other one. In 2012, when the RSI was down, it also ran, guys. In 2009, the RSI was super oversold on EWI. EWI, right? It was towards the bottom end, towards that 30 mark. What happened after that? EWI proceeded to run 80%. And guess what also ran? Asia. These are complete different sides of the world, guys. But honestly, if I'm able to use the RSI on EWI to tell you where Asia is going, and that's what I'm trying to represent, because all of these major market indexes around the world will have these indicators flashing buy simultaneously, and they are added as supporting details for each other that reassure you that that is the correct decision going for you. And it is that mentality, that mindset, that interpretation of these indicators that allowed us to recognize in August 2nd, 2021, that everything was overbought, right? Because we were telling you to get out of your EWIs. We were telling you the markets were overbought. We were telling you the VEA global indexes were overbought. And it was And it all came true. It literally all came true. Literally printed perfectly, and that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. Now, how these completely unrelated asset classes in theory really do kind of move in tandem, and it's using these indicators that don't just appear on one index. Like, if only one of these 10 indexes I'm listing here had an RSI that was oversold, that wouldn't be that strong of an argument. But when every country is presenting the oversold indicator, such as an RSI, such as a MACD, such as a sentiment signal, simultaneously, you buy those. And when it's saying they are overbought and they are high in the sky and they are touching their resistances, you get rid of those. What's interesting about this company specific, or this index specifically, is unlike a lot of other indexes, Italy actually does have a downtrending price channel. It actually does, as you can quite clearly see. The resistances are setting lower highs over time, and the support is setting lower lows over time, which means that it's not Italy as a country is not growing over time. So if you were to be buying any of these global indexes, I would maybe lean towards the AAXJ that we showed you, Asia, or the Vanguard index we showed you for the European region. Also fantastic. Look at this. We just got rid of the AAXJ, but we covered this in this stream. We talked about this other European symbol. And what a coincidence. Look at how well they overlay on each other. We were telling you months ago. We even have videos regarding these index, but again, RSI is overbought, RSI is oversold. It's about recognizing when these things are overvalued and undervalued on a global macro perspective that allow you to leverage into these trades and really get the most out of them. And just because there's a declining price channel on EWI doesn't mean there's not money to be made here. If I was interested in placing a trade on this, where would I think it would go soon? Well, it is currently at support. And if you would ride it up to its trend resistance or the 180, so you could say as much as, make sure to look here, right? Because this is a descending chart, right? The monthly, always keep in mind the time frames are represented by the M or the W right here next to the company symbol or product symbol. This blue line is acting as a resistance for this specific country. So there's a chance that it would be 40, but it could go as high as 50. 40% on a major market index is huge, guys, because keep in mind, when an index moves a little, its underlyings can move a lot. Now, should we look at the underlyings real quick? I think we will. So this is EWI's top 10 holdings, representative of 68 of the things that it is holding. And we have Enel Spa. These are a bunch of Italian names I'm not going to be able to pronounce, but they're like Ferrari is in there, UniCredit, Moncler. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ferrari, Moncler, not bad. So you can expect this to run as much as 42%. I'll even put this projection in place right here for you guys right now. And who knows? We're going to come back in a year from now, and it's going to go on right back up. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Give it a little bit of time, though. So I think that's everything that needs to be said about EWI. Really appreciate all you guys who stopped by the stream today. Thank you so much. Again, my name's Ethan Wrenn. Make sure to check out my website, ethanwrenn.com. From there you can find links to all my various socials. We are currently live on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure to sub or follow to get notified when I go live next and stay up to date with all the latest information. I also have a Discord. From there, you can get access to my Discord from my website. It's completely free, always will be free. There's a bunch of great resources in there you can utilize to better your trading, from market alerts, news alerts, OTC registered, like all these different things. So make sure to check that out. I'm basically in there 24/7, 7 days a week if you guys ever need to get a hold of me. And thank you guys so much for stopping by the stream. I really appreciate it. Till next time, whenever that might be.